Hi everybody, welcome back to Jimmy It's Promo, and today we're going to take a look at every single thing that's brand new, updated, changed with the latest update from Google. So this is Android 14 Beta 2. So we just got out of the Beta 1. This month right here is May, so now we are in Beta 2. Next month we will be in Beta 3. So in this video, I'm going to show you the press release information. I'm going to show you some of the changes, some of the fixes, but we're not going to go too deep into that because I want to show you everything that's new when it comes down to this update. So over here we have Android 13. Over here we have Android 14, and everything that I'm going to show you in Android 14 is not repeated from the last video. This is everything new from this one particular update. So if you want to see what was changed from Android 13 to Android 14 with the first beta, I can place a link below the video inside the description for the very first video. So let's first take a look at the release notes, and then we'll dive deep on everything that is brand new. So this is just kind of letting us know when the update came, which was May 10th. It's going to talk about the different devices, what they're running on, as well as what their security patch is. So for the Pixel 6, 6 Pro, 6a that use Verizon, they're all on this update here. For all the other devices, they're running on this version right there. Then also when you're scrolling down, here's the security patch. So if you have this Pixel 6, 6 Pro, 6a, that's on Verizon, you're on the April security patch. All the other devices is on the brand new May. When you scroll down, it's just going to kind of let you know that, this release is more suitable for development and testing and general use. So it's getting a little bit better, but there still could be a few issues. How to get beta 2. So for your 4A, the 5, 5A, 6, 6 Pro, the 6A, 7, and 7 Pro, those are the devices that you can get on. And then also you can sign up. And I can also place that link below the video inside the description if you would like to now finally sign up, now that we've gone through a few different updates. So down here, this is kind of letting you know a few things that's new in terms of, for the developers and what they could do. So you can add support for built-in and custom predictive back animations. Really what this does is if I was to swipe on back, it would start to show me the other screen it would go to or the other application that it would go to. Right now, you can see that it's just showing me that I'm about to go back, but it doesn't show that preview of the up and coming screen. So that's one thing to take a look at and look forward to. You have secure full screen intent notifications. So on your, you'll get basically a full screen notification, kind of similar to as if you were to get your alarm goes off. You know how it's a full screen and then you swipe on the bottom usually. So some applications and developers can incorporate that into their applications. And then there's more data, safety information is more visible. So it's letting people know, what your phone is doing, what permissions it's using, the camera, microphone, and all that. Here's a bunch of the reported issues and some of the fixed issues. So there's biometrics fixes, fingerprint fixes. So we're not going to go through all of this because this would just take a long time to read. It's fixing all of these things. The main thing in this video is I want to show you everything that is brand new, and that's what we're going to start right now. So the first thing that I want to show you is a little update when it comes down over into the lock screen. So I showed off before that you were able to have that enhanced lock screen to where it's just going to be little dots. And so now you can kind of see that there is icons or little characters, and it kind of reminds you a little bit of Material U type style. So you're going to have all these different characters, and then this way you can't even see the number at all when you're typing in. Now, when you take a look over on Android 13, however, you'll be able to see that when you first put in the number, it's showing up on the very top, and then it disappears and it goes to a little dot. So what happened in, I believe, the version right before this is that, you were able to make this more secure and make it look more like dots, but now they actually added in characters for all of these, which is brand new for this version. And I'm going to show you where you can actually turn this on. So how you're able to turn that on, it's just a enhanced, pin lock screen. So you just want to scroll on down. You're going to take a look wherever it says your security and privacy. Then you want to go to your device lock, and then you hit on settings. And then you're going to see the screen right here for the screen lock. And so this is where you'd be able to have that enhanced pin privacy. Now, next up, we're going to take a look at the different pages. And so there's actually now a little icon. So here on Android 13, you can kind of see that it's like a long line, but you don't know exactly which, home screen you're really on. And so with this one, it's going to actually slide over. So as you are sliding over, you're going to have that longer little pill-shaped line, and then it's going to go right back over into the dot. So once you swipe, it's going to move over, and then it disappears. So that's one little small change. on Android 14. Now taking a look at another change, this is one that's going to help with your font. And so I took a look over on Android 13 and I don't see this option. So in terms of all of your quick settings, when you take a look at all of these ones over here on what you can bring up or use, I'm trying to see if there was anything and if I missed it, but I don't believe there is. There's nothing over here that has to deal with font size. So it's a way that you can go in really quick and make any of these changes, and it's making all the changes everywhere on your device. All the fonts, the times, pretty much every single application that you ever use. So this is where you can simply make a few changes. Maybe you're taking on or off your glasses, the reading glasses. Maybe you just want to make a quick change without having to throw them back on or take them back off. Or maybe you went to a website, everything is a little bit smaller. So you can change your font size very quickly just inside of the quick settings right up over here. Now going inside of wallpapers, now there's a lot of changes that will be coming very soon when it comes down over inside of like the wallpapers and styles and a lot of the stuff they talked about where you can make your own out of emojis and a whole bunch of other stuff you're able to do. But one of the things I want to show you is over here. Let's say that you go inside of your the Material U option over here. You can choose which colors you would like to use. Underneath basic, at least, it's going to start you off with some basic colors. But over here on this newer version of Android 14 Beta 2, it's going to give you this option here, which this is black and white, letting you know it's going to make all the changes necessary if you're using light mode or dark mode, especially if you have one that's set up on a schedule, or maybe you change it up all the time, or maybe you just love using one of them in particular and you would like to have everything set up based on light or dark mode. So now we're going to take a little peek at, a little bit of animations and touching some of these little icons. So what's going to happen that you're going to see here is on the left-hand side, Android 13, you have all these lines, everything else is all separating. But over here, it is clean and distinct. And this area here is for this portion. And then you got basically this category, and then you got these categories. So they made it a little bit better without having just lines everywhere. Take a look at this one. So let's say that we press and hold. This one's going to be pretty similar, but again, there's no line that's differentiating these ones over here. So if we're to take a look at a few other applications, let's say that we take a look inside of maybe Instagram, press and hold, you can see the difference. This kind of looks a little ugly with all the spaces and the lines. This one they kind of put together in those little categories. So they really cleaned that up. Now, the other animation that I want to show is when you look at Android 14, you can kind of see that it just kind of it just kind of pops up out of nowhere a little bit. And then this one over here, it slides up and then it also slides down. So it's kind of like a accordion up and then the accordion down. This one is a little bit more fluid. I think it's a little bit better in my opinion. So that's what the animations look like for Android 14, especially now with Beta 2, because that was a little bit different than Beta 1. Now, next up is one that's inside of developer options. And as you scroll on down, you're going to notice an option that will kind of talk about contrast. And the contrast that's going to help with this one, I believe, is going to be more or less with Material U. Not really the contrast of, your little letters and numbers and such. I believe it's really going to be more or less how do you kind of want your themes to kind of look when you choose from these ones. So you can choose the standard, medium, or high, whatever, suits your fancy. You can change all of this. So yeah, you do have contrast. Now, this is new for Beta 2. And then what was new for Beta 1 in Android 14 was this transparent navigation bar. So this way, whatever your navigation bar was, which I used gesture, so it's not going to be there, but you can see with my gestures that there's really nothing that's in the way. You can kind of see that, like even right here, this line is supposed to be, dictating the bottom of the screen. If there was navigation, there would be a bunch of navigation here. So you can see I can read words underneath where there would normally be navigation of the back, home, and recents. So that's kind of what the transparent navigation bar is going to give you. So that one was in the past video, but what's new for this one for Beta 2 is the brand new contrast. Now we're going to talk a little bit about copy and paste. So we're just going to go here. I'm going to show you what you're able to do. So let's say that we press and hold, we do this. We move over, we copy it. If we tap on this one, what this allows you to do is make changes. So then this way you'd be able to go back into that application you're just into and then re-paste what you wanted to say. So, if this right here was a word that you needed to delete, or there's something else that you would need to add, whatever you need to do, now what's going to happen is if let's say that we go right back on over and let's say that we copy this, now you're going to have a little floating icon. So beforehand, you didn't have that. You didn't have that in Android 13, and you also don't have that in beta 1. So again, if I was to press and hold, let's say that I do this one more time just for fun. If I go to the copy, it's just going to be this little thing right here. So there's really not much you could do with a lot of this. And I think that there's a lot that they can still, kind of fix with this. Let's say if I just hit on done, you see it's going to pop up right over here. But again, if I was to go through with this, and then I hit on copy again, it's going to bring it into this little floating icon. So I know that there is something more that they can do. I think that they should make this a little bit more permanent. It's going to stay on the screen a little longer until you actually use it. Right now, I can only swipe it left and right. I wish I can kind of move it up and down, move it to a different location. If you tap on this one, it's just going to show up on the very bottom again. So I just want to show this just because I do feel that there's a lot of stuff that they can do with this one. So again, if I needed to copy and paste this, I tap on this, I open it, and then I've got it. And then other than that, if you just swipe it off the screen, it just swipes off. But there's a lot of stuff that I think that they can do with that one, make it a little bit more permanent than that little tiny thing that it's trying to do right now. Now, next up, we're going to talk a little bit about audio, notifications, ringtones, call volume. So you can see that your media volume is completely separate from the call volume. Call volume is separate from all the rest. And then you take a look over here on Android 13, you have ring and notification volume in the same line. And then over here, you have them completely separate because maybe you would like to have your ring volume higher and then notification somewhere else. So, over here, it's just really the only option. I mean, your ring and notification is the exact same thing. But here we go. You'll be able to change all of this right here. If you bring this on up, your notification volume will be there and separate. So that's one change from 13 to 14. So this one is very small and, some people might notice it, some people might not. And so let's take a look over inside of the battery saver. You're going to notice that the icon actually changes. Now, the only thing is that I think it's kind of hard for this camera to kind of pick up on it. So you can see over here how it's more red. So red, kind of lets you know, back in Android 13, maybe warning your battery is super low, even though you might be turning it on when your battery is low. But when I see red, it kind of means just warning. When it comes to this one over here, they kind of made it kind of like an orange color. So bringing it just a little bit closer, you can see how it's actually a little bit more yellow than anything, which I believe is to be, maybe a little bit better than red, because red just to me kind of sounds like warning. You might not be in warning. You just want to turn on your battery saver. So yeah, I do welcome the newer color of yellow over red. Now, another thing that has changed, and this one's very small and some people probably don't really care or even gonna really notice it, but when you scroll on down and you take a look over inside of this right here, the security and privacy icons have changed. So we used to go from this little check mark, and now we have this little S on the inside. Now we're going to talk about flash notifications. So this one's pretty nice. This one was not a part of Android 13. This was brought in on 14, but there was a revamp of the page. So it looks a little bit better. So this is where you can turn on your camera flash, and then you can also preview it. So if somebody, if you're to get a notification, you'll be able to see a flash. And then also too, let's say that you do the screen flash. You can also change what color you would like this to do. So you can do yellow, you can do green. So if you get a notification, you walked away. Oh, whoops. Let's see. Green, done. Okay, there we go. So now you'd be able to test it out with green and whatever color you would like to use. So this one would really, come in handy if you're walking away from your phone, or maybe if there's any disabilities or any type of accessibility needs that you may need for some blinking light in the back or blinking light in the front for notifications in case if maybe you couldn't hear it or feel it. But yeah, so flash notifications is now here on Android 14. On beta 2, they updated the UI basically of that page. And then now lastly, we're going to take a look at the system one more time. And with this one, you can notice that the languages and keyboard is separate. So in here on Android 13, it was languages and input. And inside of here, you would have your preferred languages and then your keyboards. This one over here is separate from the original page of system. So here's your languages that you can select and change, and you got your regional preferences, which is also amazing. So you can change your, metric or imperial. And then here's keyboard. So these ones are now separate rather than you having to go from system into this area and then going through one of these two categories. So that is every single thing that is brand new, changed, and fixed in terms of Android 14 Beta 2. You know, again, I could have gone more in depth on everything that they have updated. So let's see, if we scroll on down, if you take a look at all of this stuff, you know, they fixed this, fixed this, fixed this, fixed this, fixed this, this. I could have gone through there. Didn't want to. I wanted to really show you what was new, but there's a lot that is changing. It's way more stable now than what it was beforehand right here on Beta 2. So if you guys appreciated this video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe on the very bottom left-hand side. And if you like this video, then more than likely you'll also like this video. And I'll see you guys later.